wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Good morning, guys. I hope you're doing well. It is currently a Saturday morning. The sun is shining. Spring has sprung. And you're a bit tired. I'm not surprised because he was up from 2 o'clock in the morning last night and didn't go back to sleep. I do not know what in the voodoo magic happened last night, but he woke up 2 o'clock in the morning and he refused to go back to sleep. So I was up with him for a couple of hours and then eventually Mikey took him downstairs. I think about 4, half 4. And he's just full of energy. I do not know what has gotten into him. This week has been a whirlwind. The emotions are like a roller coaster. I've come off my tablets by accident, so I need to go and pick the new prescription up today because I'm like at the point where I'm like, Liv, you just need to accept that you need them, and that's okay. Like sometimes we do need help and like we shouldn't be ashamed of it. And they were working wonders. I just came off them by accident and then I just thought I was actually feeling better, so I thought, well, maybe I don't need them. But it was just because they were like in my body still, I think. So I'm going to get them today. Earlier this week we met up with Shan from Home with Shan over on YouTube and Instagram. I feel like at these things, like when I meet people and like when I go to events, I'm always the goofy one, the awkward goofy one, and I don't ever know how to act. I feel so out of place. And like when we got to this event, I knocked over the sign, the entrance sign to the event, and Shan caught it luckily, but I just feel like I'm literally the most goofiest person. Like we were taking pictures in the mirror and then I noticed that my pants were like over my top. It's always me. It is always me. I just feel like I'm the most out of place person to be on social media. But honestly, it was so lovely to meet Shan, and if you haven't watched her videos, make sure you do. But she is just the most lovely, genuine, down-to-earth girl, and the amount of things me and her have in common, like we were actually like, this is scary, this is actually scary, the amount of things that we're similar in. So we were destined to be friends and we spoke for like years and years and years. So that was lovely. You saw Hallie as well, didn't you?
Hi, Hallie.
Hi, Hallie. We're just going to have a coffee. Mikey's just tried to go back to bed to try and get some rest, bless him. But in a minute, I'm just going to whack that reset timer on, get things going, because the house is looking. It's giving mum on the edge. It's giving mental breakdown. Which is true, to be honest. So we're just going to try and get this house in a bit of a better position, just so today I'm trying to set myself up in the best possible way to not have a down day. So yeah, going to finish our coffees and then we'll get going.
Said hi, 'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by the night? We keep on drinking, keep on wishing for someone out there to hold. All those little moments, the best you did.
I won't lie, this week I was really not in the frame of mind to get out of bed, let alone put on the camera, travel to London solo with a toddler, socialise, film a video. But I pushed myself to do these things because I believe when you start retracting and isolating yourself further when you've got mental illnesses, it can actually make things a lot worse, and then you end up missing out on opportunities. Let me know if you feel like that too. The timer was stopped because Arlo was screaming that he wanted to watch Blippi, and who am I to stand in his way? I still managed to have a quick tidy up though, and we've been looking at potential places to move to this week. We like the look of the house prices in Norfolk and Burton, and we think they look like quite nice places too. Let me know where you're from, if you'd recommend me moving there. Like I said in my last video, my ideal place to move is the Gold Coast, Australia, but Mikey will never leave the UK. So we're looking for somewhere lovely to live in the UK but cheap, good connections to London. I do quite like the thought of being by the sea, so let me know as we're exploring all options. You can do some in
you didn't catch me looking over my shoulder just at the right time. Those little moments all let me only got you.
So now we've had a little bit of a tidy up downstairs, I'm just going to quickly get ready. Arlo's just actually had like a poo explosion everywhere, so he's just in the bath now. Mikey's watching him, and I thought I'd just take this opportunity to try and get ready and look half decent today. This week has been a little bit crazy. So I actually took Arlo on the tube for the first time, and actually it was our first time in London together as well. So I was really worried about what he was going to be like, especially like in the event itself, but he was so good. Like honestly, he's come on so far with his behaviour, and like if you watch my videos for a long time, you will remember how difficult it has been for us. So it's really nice to know that we're like sort of turning a corner with his behaviour. I put way too much of this on. In the tube station, like how are we going to get down the escalators, because I know there's not always lifts, and the hardest part for me was the escalators. So like, because obviously they're quite scary to go down anyway, especially when you've got a toddler. So what I did is I like put him in the toddler sling, and he was really good at just like getting in, and I think he understood like he needed to go in there. Prepare as if there is not going to be lifts, and to do so I would really recommend bringing a toddler carrier. Mine's from Wild Ride. I do have a discount code as well if you want to use that. I think it's 10% off. I'll pop it down below anyway, just in case. And I can hand on heart say that I'm definitely not going to be doing makeup tutorials anytime soon, and B, I could not live without that thing. It is just so good, and it's just saved me so many times, like especially like if we're going to the park and he wants to be picked up, and instead of me like lugging the scooter over my shoulder trying to carry him, trying to carry the bags, I can just pop him in the sling, and it's just so much easier, and it just takes all the weight off you. So I definitely recommend getting one if you're considering. And we got the invoice through for like the new scheme, and it's still £250 a month, even though he only goes 15 hours a week. I can't comprehend why it's so much. Obviously it is still an improvement, it's like half the price as it was, but he only goes 15 hours a week, so like it's not really 15 hours free childcare, because I think most nurseries aren't just in term time. So we're considering perhaps moving him to another nursery where it's just term time. There's one that actually goes on to the school we're thinking about sending him to, but then again we're still like, do we move because we want to buy a house? Like, are we going to move across the country? Like, what is going on? So we've got a lot of things to think about at the minute. Oh my gosh, I managed to actually find something. I think this looks all right. These trousers I've never worn before. They're from Monkey in H&M, and they're just like casual, I don't know, I think they're from the workwear collection, but I think they look quite nice with like a chilled, relaxed jumper, and I'll wear like my New Balances with them. Look at me trying to be all fashionable. But yeah, no, they feel really comfortable, really stretchy, so if I'm like running away after a toddler, then they're definitely going to be mum-proof.
Oh, someday we will collide someplace where we can hide our space. Forget the world outside just for a while. Some way we will be fine, safe place, just you and I, always. I will wait for us to collide. Till I realized that I had needs you didn't meet. But that's all days. Now that we see each other, can we slow down, start over? Come closer. Oh, someday we will collide someplace where we can hide our space. Forget the world outside.
If you're looking for quick, easy toddler craft ideas to do over the Easter period, I've got a couple of fab ideas for you. All you need is paint, sponge and a fork. I love sponge crafts with toddlers and just find Arlo has so much fun with it, and it's just so easy to do. So we also did it for Valentine's Day and Christmas and made it into a different shape. So I thought I'd make a bunny sponge and an egg sponge for him to use over Easter. Your toddler can then decorate the eggs how they want with colouring pens, paints or glitter, whatever you want. And with the bunny I added some googly eyes and a mouth. Another fun activity they can do is fingerprint painting, so they can dip their finger in the paint, dot it around the page, then you can go in and add some ears and make it a little bunny. The last idea is fork painting to make different patterns like eggs or bunnies, which is a really simple craft idea for toddlers and great for developing their motor skills. Speaking of spring, I thought I'd just take you out to the garden, show you our plans basically, and also things that we've done, just some like recommendations of things you can do in your own garden. So last year I actually filmed a whole YouTube video on it, but I did like a little mini garden makeover. It was shown in the Sun newspaper as well, so I'll link that in the description if you want to see that. But we painted this, well I say we, I did it. This was like an orange brick with like bird peel down it, and I just thought if I painted this wall, which I did with like exterior paint, then it just like makes the whole garden look wider. It just makes it look so much more fresh, and it gives me like Santorini vibes as well. I need to have like some pops of blue in this garden as well this year. And I also got like a lounger sofa that I need to get all the cushions back out. But yeah, it's just such a nice little space, and like down the bottom of this garden is such a sun trap. So I'm looking forward to getting the cushions back out, making it like a little cozy summer evening spot. So the plans are get some new fairy lights because these ones have been chewed through. I don't know what by. Don't know whether it was the bunnies. Then the next big thing in this garden is jet washing the patio, which will be really, really satisfying to do. But yeah, it's just looking a bit of a state at the minute. It just needs a bit of a freshen up. Obviously I need to cut the grass. It's not looking too bad, to be honest.
Just some like patches here that need, I don't know, maybe some feed down in, but it's not looking too bad. It just needs to be cut. And then when we moved in, this was all just rocks and pebbles, and I took all the rubble and pebbles out. It was such a hard job. And then I put soil in it to make it like a big flower bed, and I planted loads of flowers in here. So they're all going to start to come out soon, which will be really, really exciting. I'm going to go to the garden centre soon, maybe in like a couple of weeks, and get some fresh perennials, because some of them won't have survived the winter. Some fresh lupins, I'm thinking. If you were thinking of getting some flowers, some plants, but you want it to be like low maintenance, my 3 recommendations for you will be lavender, which will just make the garden smell really, really nice and fresh. And then I would say 2 other low maintenance flowers to have are lupins and delphiniums. Delphiniums are those big blue flowers that grow really tall, and having those 2 flowers will give you like instant impact and just make a massive difference, like a pop of colour to the garden, whereas the lavender will make it smell amazing. I'm also thinking to get some stain to stain this decking because it's looking a bit sorry for itself. I don't know if I'm going to be able to jet wash this because I don't want to ruin it, but we will maybe have a little go. Yeah, it's looking a bit worse for wear, so might just have to clean it and stain it. But it's such a nice little garden, considering it's such a small house. I feel like the garden was what really sold it for us here when we obviously came to look round it. It is a rental, so we are restricted on what we can do here. I did paint the fences last year, but they are going to need another bit of paint. I just can't really be bothered to do it because it's such a long job. But that little spot at the end of the garden, I'm just so excited.
So that's the plans for the garden, and I feel like for our house, obviously this is a rental, so we don't want to spend loads of money because we are planning, hopefully, to be able to move this year at some point. But I think the main thing inside is sorting the tiles out in the kitchen, because I used tile paint on them. I think it was Rust-Oleum tile paint, and it's just flaked. It's so bad. So they need to be all sanded off, and then I think I'll just leave them how they were previously rather than like painting them again or get peel and stick tiles, just because they're so expensive and it's just too much work for like a rental property. So we're just going to have to sand that all off. I might get like a little sanding machine because it's a lot quicker, and I think they're only like 30 quid rather than doing it by hand. And then I would like to give all of the cupboards a really thorough scrub and then see whether it needs like another lick of paint on it. But they've held up so well, like considering, like you can kind of see in here, this was the colour that the cupboards were before, and I painted them and then put like a top paint on them. Good point actually, I might have to sand the top coat down and then paint it. I don't know, let me know what you think. But it just makes such a massive difference. It makes the whole kitchen look so much bigger. I'll pop a picture of what they were like before. And if you were interested, I did do a whole decoration series on my YouTube channel like years ago when I decorated this house from top to bottom in 6 weeks. So if you wanted to see that and need some like tips and inspiration, go check out that video. So that's the plans for the garden and the inside of the house. But like I said, we are desperately wanting to move. So these are all things like that we can like take away. Like for example, all the flowers we put in, we can just dig up the soil, dig up the flowers and just take those to the next house. It is hard when you're in a rental because it's kind of, there's a line between like how much do you want to spend of your own money and like effort you want to put into it. But then at the same time, it's like, you're also living in this house and you're surrounded by things in this house, so you want to make it nice to live in, if you know what I mean. So it's hard to get that balance when you're in a rental. But they're the plans. Anyway, I'm going to go wake little man up because the day is getting away from us. Hi my lovelies, I'm at my nan and granddad's. My mum has just taken Arlo out the car. And the last thing I'll say today is nobody has their together, okay? Can't swear on here because it's YouTube. But nobody has it together, all right? And if you think they do, you do not know what's happening behind closed doors. Like, you really don't. You never do. And I think at the moment, unfortunately, there is a very big issue on social media with showing false realities of parenting, showing picture perfect
days with toddlers or holidays with toddlers, and I think that's what makes me feel even more inclined to share every part of my journey, whether that be the good, whether that be the bad. And just know you are doing amazing. In your kids' eyes, you are their angel. Like, they are obsessed with you, they love you so much. And I think we all know that deep down, we just have to remind ourselves of that. It absolutely blows my mind, by the way, that people put me like on their TVs or on their phones and they're watching me and watching just my boring old life. But nonetheless, I'm so grateful if you are someone that watches my videos. I really appreciate you, and I feel like we're building such a nice, lovely community of mums on here that is so supportive and caring, honestly. So I'm really appreciative of all of you. I'm wishing you all a lovely week ahead. Do something nice for yourself this week, honestly. Book something in, get your nails done, go get a massage. Like, please, just do something for yourself, and we have got this. I hope you have a nice rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next one.